There it is. There's the notification.
Game on.
We're live on Facebook. Let's start the show.
Let's do it.
Welcome back, everybody, to SMA Live. My partner, as always, Jamie Cravens, and we are finally back with our first show since the U.S. Open. Jamie, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Yeah, we had a monster show with like 40,000 views on Facebook Live, so that was pretty impressive. I myself have been busy trying to find a cyborg Pokemon without any luck yet.
There you go.
But hopefully I'll find a cyborg eventually here.
I think I'm the only one that's not playing Pokemon. My daughter's playing it, and it's something I am not on board with. I just don't. Yeah, maybe it's the old man in me coming out, man. I'm just like, Well, we're going to jump right into the show. We'll start off with our first guest. We're going to begin with calling our first guest. Let me go ahead and punch him up right now. This is the promoter for the U.S. Open, who just put on such a fantastic event with us. Let's go ahead and get Mr. Mike Sawyer on the line. Now he just answered back via text, so hopefully he picks up. Might have to buzz him back again. Mr. Sawyer.
Good number.
Your call has been.
Oh, let me hit it again.
This happens every week, I think.
Absolutely. This is the fun of doing a great live show, people. This is awesome.
Please.
All right, gotta dial them up again.
Tune in to watch us dial random people all night.
Exactly.
We got to come up with some creative voicemails or something.
Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Hello?
Yes, may I speak to Mike Sawyer, please?
I think you must have the wrong number.
Oh, dagger. I mean, sorry about that. Hey, there you go. That's the fun part of me. Let me confirm I've got his number right. Jeez.
We are on fire right now.
Oh, out the gate stumbling. Jeez. Oh, man. All right, hold on. Let me make sure. 3. Why is it that my life is so hard sometimes? Oh, man.
While you're doing that, I think I'm going to watch the Michael Venom page knockout a couple more times.
There you go. You know what? You have time for it. Interesting. This is... there we go. 1 digit. There it is right there. You know, it's official. I think I need glasses.
Yeah.
I think, I mistook a 2 for a 3. All right, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Sawyer, welcome to SMA Live. How are you doing, sir?
Good, Mallory. How are you?
You're on with Jamie and myself. We're both doing excellent, sir. We're
Mike.
glad to
Hey,
get you
Jamie.
on. We're going to go ahead and get you a recap for us. I know that the U.S. Open preview, the U.S. Open show on ESPN has just been tearing things up. What do you have for us for that?
It's done very well on ESPN. Ratings are good. The first show aired on the 20th, and as you know, this year we did 2 separate highlight shows for ESPN2, and the first one aired on the 20th, the second one aired on the 26th, both of them at 8 p.m., and then they re-aired the first show again today at 3 o'clock. And then I don't know when the second air of show number 2 is going to be. I talked with ESPN last Friday, but they weren't sure yet when they were going to re-air it. It'll either be on a weekend afternoon like today, or it'll be on a weeknight around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, sometime in prime time.
Okay. And the ratings have been just off the charts there?
Yeah, the ratings have been good, and the shows are really outstanding. Rich Williams at ESPN said that he thinks it's the best show we've ever done after the first show. And both of the shows are good. The first show really jumps off the screen at you. You know, that's the one that re-aired today. And I watched it through again today. You know, I mean, I watched it the first time and I watched it again today. I just couldn't take my eyes off it. You know, it's just a great show. Everybody in the show just did so well, and the way that events happened in there are just so compelling that the programming is just fabulous. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better ending than we had with the men's weapons. You know, with Jackson doing so well. I mean, that's as good of a form as I've ever seen Shaheen and Jackson do on their forms. And as you remember in Atlanta, you know, Jackson and Shaheen both beat Reed score-wise, Reed Presley. Mm-hmm. And then here at the Open, they just all seem to just go over the top. And Shaheen, I've never seen him better, and Jackson was so perfect, such a perfect form. And then Reed came out and was just on. And then when the scores are given, and Jackson got all those 9.99s, and you thought that, wow, okay, all right, so what, they're going to give Reed 9.7s? You know, really? Jackson's going to win? And then Reed got all those 10s. That was just such a moment. Couldn't have asked for a better ending to the show. So it was just great. And all the stuff in there was great. I mean, everything, I thought. The synchro forms, just the competitors just, they don't get better. Aiden and Danny, you know, Emma and Kieran. And then in the two shows, Sammy and Mackenzie, couldn't have asked for a better result there. You know, in the first one with weapons, Kenzie beat Sammy, and the second one on forms, Sammy beats Kenzie. Mm-hmm. And we opened both shows. And by the way, we did it on purpose this way. As you remember from being in the production meeting on Friday night, we thought we didn't know who the competitors were going to be, but we knew what divisions we wanted to start with. And by starting with the 14 to 17 forms and weapons, that division has such fabulous competitors that it starts to show off and really grips you. You know, you don't want to turn the channel. And those are the guys that are going to be up in the adult division, you know, pretty soon. And so both shows started out with 14 to 17, one with weapons, one with forms. And so that really set a tone for each of the shows to be real high energy, just excellent performances. And I just don't see how anybody could have been anything but amazed by the way that all those competitors did.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, and now I'm kind of curious myself. Do you get any feedback from like a general audience, like people who aren't into the martial arts, when they actually see it on ESPN2? What's their feedback? What really blows them away?
Well, you know, they're not sure about the rules, and they don't know what the judges are necessarily looking for. But it's sort of like if you're watching high diving at the Olympics, or you're watching gymnastics. You know, you really don't know what scores they're given for what. You just know that when it looks good, it looks good. So everybody that I know that watches the show, whether they're in martial arts or not, they're impressed by the physical capabilities of the competitors, the way that they express themselves in the form, and you can tell that it's an imaginary fight, and they're impressed by the martial arts skills. It's the kind of stuff that, you know, they're used to seeing in movies where it's all staged and they do multiple takes. And here, everybody in the show here has one shot at getting it right, and they just do it. And I'll tell you, the breaking that Chip did and the Legends breaking that was in the second show was really compelling too. and ESPN went really over the top on Chip's break. They had his breaking the 4 baseball bats as a Sports Center play of the day. They were talking about it on the afternoon show the next day, and they had the video of his break on ESPN's Instagram site. And that's something that's universal also, whether you're a martial artist or not. That's impressive stuff to watch. And it's, with breaking, it's the kind of thing that, we know how hard it is to break certain things and we know how hard these guys work to come up with new stuff and creative breaks. This was just a one kick, one shot through 4 baseball bats. But everybody out there in TV land, everybody out there knows what Louisville Sluggers are, and they know how hard it is to break a baseball bat. So when somebody kicks with one kick and breaks 4 baseball bats, it's short, it's fast, it's impressive. Everybody can get an idea of how difficult that is, what would happen if they tried it, how amazing Chip must be to be able to do it. And so it was perfect. That's the perfect kind of thing that ESPN can grab onto, or any other network, and they can make that a showcase performance because it's fast and it's easily understandable for anybody to watch.
Well, I know that I'd seen that it had made the top 10, one of the top 10 players on the U.S. Open, and their Instagram just blew up with Chip, who I know from a different part of life. My wife is actually from Abilene, Texas, and I know Chip that's where his school is, and he made sure I promised to stop by his school the next time I'm in Abilene. But that just
yeah.
I told him I won't be breaking any bats when I get down there because kind of.
So we're not gonna. So we're not going to be scheduling you for a bat break on stage next year, Mallory?
No, you can schedule me for breaking, but I don't think the bat will break. I think it'll be something else. You know what? I'll tell you what. I'll do that for you, Mike. I guarantee you the YouTube hits will be skyrocketing as I have a compound fracture on the nighttime show at the U.S. Open, and people will love it.
Yeah.
Well,
I know.
What is the? Do we have another upcoming? I know we had a show this afternoon, the replay on ESPN3. Do we have an upcoming another show or replay of the U.S. Open Finals that is coming up?
As of Friday, when I spoke with ESPN, they were looking for a spot for the second airing of show number 2, which aired last Tuesday. And that show, the first show ends with the men's weapons. The second show ends with synchronized weapons. Mm-hmm. So they want to re-air the second show a second time also. And so I just don't know when it's going to be, but as soon as I know, I'll let you guys know, and you can, put it all out there, and everybody will find out, and we'll get it on the U.S. Open website also, so everybody knows when it is. And I think most people are getting the email blasts too. I know today we sent out an email. I know you guys send them out. Asian World sends them out, and so we'll find out. We'll find out. They just, this is ESPN, and ESPN 1 and 2 have so many programming commitments. It's hard to get that airtime, but we've got a very long relationship with them. This is the 18th consecutive year that the U.S. Open has been on ESPN, which I think makes us the longest continuously running event that they have on ESPN. And before that, of course, all through the 90s was Strikeforce Kickboxing, and so it's a long relationship with ESPN, and that helps me a lot when I'm talking to them about air times and multiple airs and things like that. And I just want to get as much exposure for all of our competitors, all of our top people out there, everybody that wants to try to get a shot at a lot of people seeing what they can do.
And I think that's one of the best platforms that we have that's out there. Well, Mr. Sawyer, I'm getting a signal in from our producer via text that we're going to move on to our next guest. Once again, look for it.
Okay.
Definitely follow our page. We will definitely let you know when we are going to replay, or excuse me, when ESPN is going to replay the show again. Mr. Sawyer, you did a great job this year. Thank you so much, and we can't wait to see forward what's going to happen in 2017. Mike Sawyer, one of the co-promoters of the U.S. Open. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks for having me on.
All right.
Bye, Mallory. Bye, Jamie.
Hey, later.
Perfect. There it is, Mr. Mike Sawyer. I mean, that whole weekend was just full of just action from here, there, and everywhere, and it was just it was a great event to go to absolutely be part of and to see it just absolutely go down.
Yeah, and just that ESPN coverage brings a whole new audience. It's interesting that the breaking is probably the biggest draw, and that makes sense especially for people who aren't into sport martial arts. And I can understand why maybe point fighting would be tough for somebody who is not into martial arts to follow and know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jamie, why don't you give us an update on a couple of tournaments that we're going to go to while I get ready to dial our next guest, and I'll make sure I got the right number this time.
No, all right. Well, we've got, it's kind of looking at the calendar, and it looks like we got 2 big events per month coming up here. So, we got the Dixielands coming up this next weekend in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So I'm kind of jealous of team members going there this weekend. After that, on August 12th to the 13th, we got the U.S. Capital Classics, or the CAP, also the China Open. $50,000 in prizes for that one, and that's a NASCA 6A tournament. September 16th, 17th, we got the North American International Karate Championships in Dearborn, Michigan. September 23rd and 24th, the Twin Towers in New York, the Resort World Casino. I'm sure you'll be there, Mallory.
Yes, indeed. I think I might have to be there for the casino and the Twin Towers.
All right. Well, I have to give you some money so you can throw some on the roulette table for me.
Always.
And then in my backyard, we got October 7th and 8th, the Dixieland Nationals in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's actually in Bloomington, right next to the airport. That's also big, 6A. And then at the end of the month, October 30th through November 4th, the WKC World Championships in Dublin, Ireland.
There you go. That is, those are great events coming up. Well, I'm going to see. Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jamie.
Yeah, and those are all going to be live streamed as well. So the finals will be posted on Facebook. So make sure you subscribe so you can get alerts for when those go online.
All right, I'm going to see if I can punch up our next guest. He is the promoter of the aforementioned Dixieland.
Do it, leave a message, and I'll get back with you later.
Oh, and we get the instant voicemail. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and talk about what's coming up this weekend, which is the 44th annual Dixieland Nationals. That's, as you mentioned, in wonderful Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'll be going down there to cover that event, and it will be live streamed. So it's a great event. It is one of the ones that have been growing over the past couple of years. Mr. Earwood's doing a great job in terms of trying to put on a great event and grow that event in South Carolina. By the way, South Carolina, home to the #1 welterweight, which is Mr. Stephen Thompson, and who was very interested in the UFC that happened last night at 201 as Tyron Woodley won the belt from Marlon Lawler. Wonder Boy should be the next fight. Now, there's some talks about, there's a money fight waiting for the other Diaz brother, not Nate, but Nick. And, Tyron might go to take a big money fight there. But the #1 contender for welterweight for UFC is Wonder Boy, and he says he's going to sit there and wait for a shot. And hopefully we'll be celebrating someone with a karate background, a traditional karate background, winning that belt. Well, let's see. I know that Dewey's been busy all week, so we're going to just announce that event. And definitely stay tuned for us on SMA. I'm going to see if I can punch up our next guest really quick. This is a gentleman that came over here to the U.S. to compete a little bit. He is from Dublin, Ireland, and I am going to just send him a quick message. He's staying up very late to talk to us. It's 2 a.m. in Ireland right now. We're going to talk to Mr. Dean Barry, and just going through the magic Facebook, just tell him we're calling right now. So, And hopefully everything is going to be working right because this is going to be a Skype call. So,
Ooh, we're going to get the Skype going.
yes. Let's see here. And Jamie, you have to let me make sure that let me know you can hear him.
You got it, man.
Dean,
Hey, have you
you
ever
have your
been-
line. 1 second. Let me adjust some settings. 1 second here. Yep, it says that he's here. Let's see here. Audio, you got me clear, Dean. Let me make sure we can hear you.
No, I feel like you need a producer or something.
Oh, I
Possibly.
desperately need. Dean, go ahead, give me
Okay, thanks.
some talks to make sure I can hear you.
Yeah, that's no worries. Can you hear me okay?
There we go. Mr. Dean Barry, let me turn up the audio. Dean, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I am doing just fine. Jamie, can you hear him?
Yeah, I can hear him just fine. Hey, what's up,
Perfect.
Dean?
All right. Well, let me give you the proper introduction. We have on the line with us one of Ireland's best fighters. He's a WACA world champion. Dean Barrett, thank you first of all for staying up to 2 a.m. your time to be on SMA Live. Thank you very much, sir. Welcome.
Yeah, no problem at all. It's a pleasure.
Now, you came over here for AmeriKick, where you were competing in the openweight division. In fact, you were a seed. Was that your first time coming here to the United States?
Yeah, it was actually Jared and his team who reached out to me. It was after the World Championships were held in Dublin. He got in touch with me, and I was a bit hesitant coming over because I've never been before, So I never travelled across in America, so I was like, I had a thought about it and came over. And it was the first time I was fighting over there, and it was just a different experience for me. Like, it was so surreal. Like, the whole style of everything is just so fast paced. Like,
Well,
it was brilliant though.
Did you enjoy your first trip to America? Because I know you came over here not too long ago, and you went to Canada to train up in with one of the schools up there. What was that like?
Yeah, it was brilliant. Like, the thing for me with America is like, I'm fighting in Europe since I'm 12. Like, and going to America, like, a part of me is kicking myself that I didn't do it before. So I wanted to get my name out over there. So when I went over to Philly, I really had to make sure that I did put on a good performance so I could come back again. Because it's not easy fighting over there. Every fighter you come up against, they all seem to have ridiculous like chambers in their legs and all. So the style is so different, man. So for me, it's really what I like. The fast pace, the hard hitting. That's what seems to be over there. So it's my kind of style.
Right on. And I was watching a few of your videos, Dean, and it looks like you always got your hand extended pretty far out, pretty high up. Is that just a desperate plea for a high five, or is that just part of your fighting style?
To be honest, I really just want to shake hands with them. It's I think I've always done that. It's more for me. It was actually my coach taught me years ago when I was a kid, and then it followed over with me everywhere. Every time I fight now, it's like I judge my distance with it, so it's like a false distance for a fighter. So if my hand's out like that, it gives them a false image that they're closer to me, So then they're actually a full arm's length away from me, and then they'll go for me where I can counter, or if I know if I can touch them with my hand, then they're gonna get hit. So that's what I do. It's just a distance gauge, like, for me, like, and it's just disguised really, So it works well.
Well, we always talk about a lot of the point fighters making a transition into MMA or kickboxing. Is that something you're looking to do as well?
Yeah, it is something I hopefully I will be doing. I'm currently doing at the minute. I'm training in MMA and stuff. So Jared has me doing different things as well, and my coach Jared from AmeriKick regarding the kickboxing and stuff. So hopefully that's a road that I will be going down, because the transition over, like the style of the point fighting, it's so different. Like for me mostly it's actually the distance and speed more than anything else. Like, about just getting in and out. So when you come up against like a traditional MMA fighter, like there's no comparison when it comes to the the styles of the fighting, but it's definitely something that I am doing, yeah. Because I'm doing this 12 years, so partially I want to kind of branch off as well and see what other roles there is for me.
Now, we definitely have to give a shout out to Jared. I wish I could have had him on tonight, but he is actually in flight right now. I love.
Yeah, my boy Jared.
I love what he's doing. He's stepping up, and he's as an attorney, he's setting up fighter representation. He's got Raymond. He's got you on his world team. We're gonna to put a pin in this, to be continued. We will have Jared on the program just to get him talk. But I like that he's taking that leadership role and stepping up to something that no one else who's been a competitor has done before. What's your relationship been like with Jared Liker?
Yeah, like it's a good question that you asked that. Like, to be honest, like me and Jared, like he's on. I'd see him as a big brother now. Like, we got in touch and we just clicked, and then I met him over in the Irish Open. He came to see us fight the Irish Open. And then we flew to Philly just after that, and that's where I met his whole family. And they're all just so nice, like, and he genuinely just wants the best for me. Like, he has his best interest in the fighters. Like, it's not about him. Like, he doesn't care about his own publicity. It's all about the fighter. And he basically said my style. He wants everyone to see my style in America. So he signed me up, and he believes in me, and so he's putting me out there. And he's bringing me to Vegas. He's bringing me all these places because he believes that I'll do well over there. So honestly, we have a great relationship with everybody there. Like, and I couldn't be happier really. Like, after Philly, I was approached by like 5 different teams asking me will I fight for them or will I come over and represent them and stuff. And the second Jared asked me, like, it was a no-brainer, like, I think it's time, because the guys are doing unbelievable forms and everything over the years, so I think it's time for their fighting team to
so your first trip was here to Philly. Now, you followed that up with a great trip to Vegas, and unfortunately both of our events at the U.S. Open was going on as a competing event, but what did you think of Las Vegas?
Oh, it was my first time ever in Las Vegas. It was unbelievable. Like, I still couldn't believe I went. Like, so it was after Philly. I said, we have to bring you to Vegas, and when I went over there, it was just unfortunate. In my first fight, I actually broke my hand straight across my thumb. Like, I went to hit this. I was fighting some Mexican guy in a slip, and like I caught him awkwardly, and that was it. My hand was gone. Like, so. It was a bit disheartening. I had to fight the whole thing with a broken hand, like, but it was still a great tournament. Like, I had a great time. I won my division and all, but when it came to the grands, like, I just lost out on it. But I wish I had been a bit fresher,
Right. Well, I know that we look forward to. Actually, you're going to be teaching, if I remember, at the American Winter Camp. When is that going to be?
Yeah, so I'm teaching there. It's on every time I ask, I always get the dates mixed up here. It's the 26th till the 29th. So we're going to be running an intense seminar for a few days. The whole purpose of it is they're going to bring me over because it's different styles. So I'm going to teach people something that they haven't really, done before. Or teach them different ways of approaching fights, and how to use certain weapons in the best ability that they can. So. I'm really looking forward to doing it, and also it's going to be great because the standard over there is huge. So can't wait to see what kind of how it will be with, like, learning my kind of style. So we're going to be teaching that, and hopefully, I said I'll jump in and for the crack and do a form, so they can teach you a form.
Please, video. That's all I can ask if that does happen.
All you're going to see is a tumble.
Well, we know that from what we've watched and what we've seen at AmeriKick, you have a great sweep, which is used a lot in Waco. I think that's definitely something that a lot of fighters can benefit to utilize, and if not utilize, to defend against, because we usually don't see that over here. And as some of the video has been up as we've been talking, it's been showing your great timing with those sweeps. So I know that everyone at AmeriKick at the AmeriKick Winter Camp can definitely benefit from that.
Yeah, definitely. Like the whole. I think everyone should know how to sweep. Like the whole purpose of a sweep for me is mainly fighting up against somebody who I know is a really good kicker, or if instantly in the start of the fight their legs just banging up in the air. We know if I take their back leg out, then it brings their confidence down. Do you know what I mean? So they won't be kicking like these mad heights or all over the place. Then where I can actually move around them, so they'll double think themselves, and that's where the sweep comes into play, because then they won't be kicking as high anymore, and then you can actually just go over the legs. So that's the whole purpose of that for me, and the timing does have to be right on it, because if you sweep somebody and all their weight's on the back leg, you're just going to end up sweeping yourself. Like, so it's all about just setting up right at the right timing and stuff. You can also sweep blitzers as well. So like me and my coach Dave, like in Dixieland Martial Arts, and like Robbie, everybody, like we over the years we've been training that, and we've been like we do it to each other in training all the time. So it's not nice getting swept, but it's all about learning how to do it right. So we've learned how to do it with blitzers and kickers. So it's very effective to have, and especially if somebody knows that you sweep, then you know, like it's a totally different game, it's a different fight. Like. So I think when I'm over there teaching it, it'll be good for the guys when they do come over to Europe, or if the Wacko Rules are in America, or if NASCAR ever get their finger out and let people sweep each other, then you'll see it a lot more.
It would make fights a lot more exciting, and I do see on the live stream, you can definitely shout out to Jarrett. Jarrett is watching right now, so go ahead and give him a little hi.
What's up, Jared?
There you go.
Yeah, Jared told me. Yeah, he told me he'd be watching. Yeah, he's cool, man. He's great support, like so.
Well, we're so glad. Thank you again for staying up so late. And I'm ending with this amazing Instagram picture of you with your 7-foot trophy won at America. You know the one I'm talking about.
Here, no. I never seen a trophy like this, so I was like, I can't just get a normal picture. It has to go with a bang, you know.
Listen, everyone, if you've never met Dean Barry before, one of the nicest and absolutely slapnuts, hilarious guys to be around. Dean, I think I'm going to be over in Ireland at the WKC. I'm hoping I run into you there and get to hang out a little bit more with you. Thank you for coming on the show with us. We certainly appreciate it. Thank you for staying up late to be on the show with us. And, we wish you great success, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Once again, Dean Barry will be appearing at the American Winter Camp. Definitely check your local listings for that. Thanks, Dean, and get some rest, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks very much for having me on the show. It was great talking to you both, and I'm sure I'll see you really soon anyways. And definitely in WKC, as I'll give you a nice tour around Ireland, right?
I'm looking forward. Ladies and gentlemen, Dean Barry, thank you, sir. Have a good night.
See ya.
There he is, the one and only Dean Barry. I'm telling you, man, this guy's absolutely hilarious to hang out with. He's a one of a kind guy, you know.
Something about that accent is, I always just entertained by it. I love it.